All right.
All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right. Today we are going to be asking the question of how does your personal approach to client communication and commitment set you apart in the personal injury world? Well, welcome again to another informative segment of Live with Mitch from the law firm of Proner and Proner. I'm your host, Mel McCuyup. And we will sit down with the expert himself, Mr. Mitch Proner, a personal injury attorney with over 30 years of experience, here to answer your questions or any other interesting topics that you might find useful in the personal injury world. How are you doing, Mitch?
I'm well. Once again, happy to provide information. Hopefully it's entertaining and informative.
Yes, it definitely. Well, based on these past few episodes, I would definitely say yes to all of that. All right. So before we start, just remember, folks, if you need to contact us, all consultations are free and confidential. Call us at any time at 1-800-321-1234. So yeah, like just in general, how does your personal approach and client communication and commitment set you apart? I mean, I know like you give your personal phone number out as one example.
So, first of all, what I tell everybody in my office, anytime I have a new employee, what I tell them is every attorney, it doesn't make a difference what country you're from, where you're practicing law, what state, what type of law, whether it's divorce or contracts or whatever it is, every attorney ethically has an obligation to communicate with their client. So that's an ethical obligation. Of course, sadly, that is not an obligation that all attorneys maintain. But I strive to maintain that ethical obligation. And it has a value that is apparently not inherently intuitive in our community as lawyers, but it should be. So here's why communicating with clients is so important. A lawyer could be really skilled. They can write beautiful motions. They could speak with oratory skills that haven't been seen since the Greek orator Demosthenes. Okay, they could be brilliant.
Yeah.
Eventually, they're going to call their client up and they're going to say to their client, I got a settlement offer. The client doesn't know about the motion practice, about these brilliant skills in arguing. They don't know any of that. And the lawyer could say, it's a great offer. It's $40,000. The client has no idea if the case is worth $20,000 or $100,000. They don't know. The lawyer can say to them, I got you a great offer, $40,000, and the client says, why isn't it $100,000? And the lawyer says, well, you got all these problems with your case. Now the client doesn't know if the case is worth more or worth less. Same lawyer could say, I got you $300,000. Case might only be worth $40,000. But the client doesn't know it's not worth $500,000. They don't know. The one thing they'll know is the lawyer stayed in touch with me and kept me informed the whole way.
Yeah.
And that they know. So literally, as on the lives of my children, last night, I could even check my cell phone to see what. Hold on a second.
This is happening live, folks. Don't forget that. He's literally checking.
Last night, 9:33 p.m.
Okay.
I'll cover up the name.
I can't see that. All
9:33
right.
p.m. Okay.
Okay. Oh, I can see that. Okay.
I got a phone call, and it was actually on the case you did the intake on today.
Oh, okay.
And a guy called up, and he was my past client 2 times. And he said, my friend got into an accident. I'm sorry for calling you so late. I was home with my wife. My, we were watching TV. I took the phone. She says, who's calling? I said, it's a client. And he told me his friend. I said, of course. I said, can he talk? I said, is he married? His kids? He says, he's got a wife. I said, give the wife my cell phone number. I said, if they want to talk to me tonight, they could talk to me tonight. And they called up this morning. But I give my cell phone to my clients because of course, my family is number one, but I spend more time working than I do with my family. And I like my work, and I like being the person that people can call when they have a time of need. And so client communication is fundamental. It's provided for my life and provided for my family, and it doesn't bother me. I take the calls, and I'm honored to represent these people, and I'm glad to get the calls. But it is unusual. Most attorneys have answering services. Most attorneys don't give out their personal cell phone numbers.
Yeah.
My clients have mine, and they can call. And it's for me. It's just it's who I am.
You know, one thing I will say, like, he has a very specific ring, which is it a Harley revving? It's the exhaust, but you only hear it rev once because he picks it up like that. That I will definitely stand behind, which is a perfect segue to the another question here. What impact does a quick response and accessibility have on clients during stressful cases?
Well, I once had a client say to me, his case is going to trial, and I told him he had to make some decisions. And on
Uh,
all right.
well, I mean, I get it. You can't answer right now.
So I told the clients it's his decision.
Yeah.
I said, I got a lot of cases. He has one case. And I'm not going to tell him to go to trial if he wants to settle. And I'm not going to tell him to settle if he wants to go to trial. I told him the risks of going to trial and the expectations of what a jury would do. And I told him it's his decision. And he says to me, Mitchell, don't you know that if you told me to go through fire, I would go through fire? I trust you.
No.
And I walked him through. We ended up taking a verdict, and we were successful. And it was the right decision. But he made the decision.
Yeah.
Because it was his to make. At the same time, that's important. The communication is what establishes that trust. And what good is a lawyer if you hired a guy because you saw a billboard, but you don't trust him? You don't even know him. Yeah. Or you're just a number. That's not what my clients are.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen and heard that time and time again, which is another great segue to, like, what if this goes long term? Like, how does your long term commitment to clients, even in cases lasting several years, affect client satisfaction?
Well, unfortunately, some cases take years.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can't always get a quick settlement. Some cases are complicated, and sometimes you proved your case. I've got a case pending right now where we won summary judgment. We proved that the defendants were at fault, but they're still pointing their fingers at each other in terms of who should take the lead on the negotiations. And I can't say you got to pay more than them because that's up to them. I can just tell them what we need to settle the case, and there's different carriers involved. I can tell them what I think, but they just know they're at fault by the court's decision. And the case is taking time. And I stay in touch with the attorneys. I say, what can we do to get it moving? We had a mediation that failed. We didn't settle. Case on the calendar, we're accruing interest because we won our
Yeah.
motion for summary judgment. So we're
Yeah.
accruing interest on a jury award if the case goes to trial.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for the courts. The case has been taking time. You can't always get a quick settlement. But I sent a text message to my client this week, and he responded, thank you, because I'm keeping him informed what's going on, that I made a phone call, that I haven't forgotten about him. And that's the best I could do.
Yeah, I mean, despite, it doesn't matter how many clients you have, you're always staying in communication. I've seen that time and time again. So like, I know because of many things that you do like this, you've gotten a lot of awards and peer recognition. How does that reflect on the quality of service your clients receive? And I'll mention some of those awards if you don't mind.
I mentioned some of the words. Top 100 from the National Trial Lawyers.
Yeah.
Award of Excellence from New York State Trial Lawyers Association. Nation's Top 1%. Super Lawyers. I think 15 years in a row.
Wow.
I've gotten Lawyers of Distinction, Excellence in Personal Injury Law. I could. Yeah,
We're only seeing a portion of that wall, just so you guys know.
But more important, it's not about my awards. It's about results.
Yeah,
that's what counts. It's the results, because my next client doesn't give 2 cents about my awards. They want results in their case. And I recognize I'm not working for awards. I'm working for my clients.
Yeah.
So it's not about the awards that I've won or the recognition that I've gotten. I lecture across the country to attorney groups. And every year I'm requested to speak to bar associations across the country. Bar associations sell videos of me lecturing to other attorneys as part of their continuing legal education. I do that to give back to the community, but I'm only as good as my last case and my next case. And there's always going to be defense attorneys that want to beat me. And when I try cases, I don't go against young attorneys where this is their first trial. Whenever I try a case, it's against a known attorney, a named partner at a big firm. They put their best against me, and I got to knock them down every single time. I don't get a day off. That's what I do, and that's what I have to do. So I've got to get the results on every case, not for an award, but for the client that I got to look in the eye at the end and say, I did my best for you.
Yeah.
And that's for every client. They don't care about me getting an award.
Right. They
want to win their case. And I need to win that case for them, because they're depending upon me. They're depending on my skills, and my reputation makes it easier.
Yeah.
It means a lot. I have to work a lot less to get more settlements, because they know I'll try the case. And that's been rewarding, that I don't have to work as hard on all my cases. But that doesn't mean the next case that I think is going to settle is going to have to go to trial, or the next trial that I'm preparing for, the case settles. I got to be ready every time, because I can't go into court and not be ready. A bad reputation will go around the community 3 times before a good reputation opens its briefcase. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
You screw up, they'll never forget. You do it right, you got to do it over and over again. And so, but fortunately, I like it. I like it. So that makes it easier.
And you really care. It's very obvious. I see it daily here. Well, there you have it, folks. You heard it from the expert himself, Mr. Mitch Proner. That'll do it for now. And thank you for taking your time to tune in, whether it's on our podcast or video broadcast. We really do appreciate you taking the time. And as always, remember you can call us 24/7 at 1-800-321-1234, where consultations are free and confidential. Also, if you haven't yet, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and of course, YouTube. Please like and subscribe to get the latest updates. Now, before we go, Mitch, do you have anything else you want to add?
I gotta say that if you're involved in an incident where you've sustained injuries and you think it's the fault of someone else, talk to your lawyer. You'll know if they care, and that's what you got to do. Good luck to you. Be safe. Thanks.
Thanks again. Thank you, Mitch. Thank you all for checking us out. I know I learned a lot, and I hope you did too. We'll see you next time. Take care, Mitch.
Bye-bye.